Hello everybody, Calamity here, or at least that's what I told her to call me. Today's video is going to be all about the new pure fiction game mode in Honkai Star Rail. This is another end game mode that runs alongside the Memory of Chaos, where it will get a new cycle and a new sort of blessing to work around every, I believe there will be a new one in another 4 weeks or so. And if you're not familiar with the game mode, it's very different from Memory of Chaos because your goal here is to kill as many enemies as possible. They come in waves and they spawn tons and tons of weaker enemies as opposed to Memory of Chaos where it's like fighting a bunch of elite enemies and bosses. Also similar to Memory of Chaos, as I mentioned before, there is a sort of blessing that you want to work around, and this one is called Whimsicality. This one's going to make it so that when your allies use an ultimate that damages an enemy, they will inflict them with what they call Shatter, and this can stack up to 6 times. An enemy that has Shatter, when their turn starts or when the target is dead, they will explode basically and deal a bunch of damage to adjacent targets based on how many number of shatter stacks they have. From what I remember, I believe like one shatter stack does like 10k damage, and it's very easy. You definitely don't need to get the full 6 here. That's not the goal. The goal is just to get some shatter on a bunch of enemies. Like you're fine with maybe like 1 or 2 on just a few enemies to basically clear most of the waves. There are some elite enemies and some bosses in this mode, but honestly they're not the focus when just trying to get a really high score. Main page here, you'll notice that there are only 4 levels, and honestly the first 2 I would consider pretty free as long as you have some leveled characters, with decent talents, decent relics and all that stuff. You'll be able to clear the first 2. Like I did these on auto. We're mainly gonna help you with the hardest one, which is stage 4, obviously. But if you are struggling with 3, just feel free to ask me in the comments down below, and I'll do my best to help you out. We'll talk about team setups. So here's the teams that I used. I have Clara, March 7th, Herta, and Ruan Mei on the first half. And on the second half, I have Tingyun, Seele, Asta, and Kafka. I will explain these teams in a bit more detail. But first, let's talk about the buffs that you can pick. So in addition to this whole shatter mechanic that that Pure Fiction has, you can also choose a buff to go with your team, and you can actually choose the same buff for both teams if you want. So let's go over what they do. The first one is called Erupt, and this makes it so that when your ally uses an ultimate that hits enemies, they will gain an additional stack of shatter, so they get 2 shatter per ultimate usage. The second one is called Excitation, which is going to make it so that anytime an enemy enters a battle, there's an 80% chance for them to instantly receive 1 stack of shatter. And the last one is called Rupture, and this makes it so that when you defeat an enemy with shatter, they will increase your ultimate damage for all allies in this battle by 15%, and this stacks up to 20 times. Now, right off the bat, maybe I'm in the wrong for saying this, but from my experience, I found Rupture to be the most useless one because your enemies in Pure Fiction are very, very weak, simple enemies like the bats, like the mining dudes from Bellobog, things like that. Very weak, easy to kill enemies. You should not be needing more ultimate damage to defeat weak enemies like that. If anything, it's definitely overkill and it's wasted damage. Erupt is I would say the second best option in my opinion. If you do have, a team that's constantly using their ultimates to damage your opponents, then you're getting a ton of shatter stacks. However, if you look at my team, not every ally's ultimate is gonna hit an enemy. So if you do have a team that's just filled with, DPS characters and stuff like that, then you might consider taking Erupt. But for my case, like Clara is not hitting any enemies with her ult, neither is Ruan Mei. Only Herta and March 7th are. So the one I recommend going for is Excitation. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. But the one that makes it so that they gain a stack of shatter, 80% chance of gaining it whenever they enter battle. Now, this might seem a little off-putting because it's a little RNG, but luckily the RNG is heavily in your favor And this is going to be happening all the time because you're fighting so many enemies in so many waves that, like, as long as you're AoE clearing these waves, you know, many enemies are going to keep constantly pouring in, and the chances of them having a stack of shatter is high, and then you continue to kill those enemies, and, you know, the explosions keep on happening throughout the whole cycle, basically. And this is good for Clara because, you know, when she gets hit and she's clearing waves, those new enemies that come in get a stack of shatter, rinse and repeat, and, you know, hopefully they just keep having shatter when they enter the battle. Now, for your team setups, obviously you can try to copy what I did, but, you know, not everyone's gonna have the same characters as me. You might have different characters than I have to work with, and I can recommend that you definitely don't need a healer for this mode, not even on the hardest stage of Pure Fiction. The only healer that I would say is okay in this mode is Locha, because he has an ult that hits enemies for the shatter. So if you want to use him, he's fine, but in my opinion, I feel like you really don't need any healers or sustain characters to get through this content. I do have March 7th as a sort of sustain here for the first half team, but keep in mind she's only here to give a shield to Clara, and that is because, you know, you want the enemies to hard focus Clara, right, for the counter attacks. Also, March 7th, her ult damages enemies for the shatter. That's why I don't use Lynx, because you don't need the healing, even though she also has a similar effect. Follow-up characters are going to be the absolute kings of this mode. Whether you have Herta, which we all got for free, Himeko is also going to be a very, very good option here. I don't have her, but if you do, excellent option, especially on the second half with that fire weakness. If you have Topaz, also going to be good. Any characters like that are just going to absolutely shred this content. And then, of course, Argenti if you pulled for him as well. I also have Ruan Mei Pure Fiction team here because of the damage boost she gives to Herta, as well as the toughness breaking increase that she gives to everyone on the team, so that shields are just breaking all the time and we get to do more damage and stuff like that. Now, my second half team probably looks a little weird to you. I'll try to explain it a bit. We have Tingyun for just being, you know, the buffer that she is, but mainly because of the ult, right? She's a battery for your ults. You want to give that energy to Kafka so she can do her ult as much as possible. Seele here is actually here to be a sort of skill point generator, because there's not a lot of enemies on this roster that are weak to Quantum, which is fine, because Seele can either finish off or straight up just kill a lot of the weaker enemies with her normal attack or her skill. And then because she gets those extra turns, she can kill like anywhere from 2 to 3 weak enemies. So she ends up being like I want to say she's a very underrated choice, because you wouldn't think a really strong hunt character like Seele would be good for a mode like this, but she actually ended up really good, really useful, very skill point positive. Asta is here because of the major speed boost. I'm sure we're all familiar with her character by now. She doesn't even need like crazy artifacts, or sorry, relics and a crazy Lycone to do well. Just honestly, just getting that ultimate to a high level is good enough. And then Kafka here is my DPS of choice because of the lightning weakness and, well, the AoE. I am also using the same buff for this team as well, because again, I find this one to be the best option, at least for my teams that I'm using. Feel free to try to experiment with the other one if you want. This is my setup, and you can see the scores that I got in my previous run, but we'll go ahead and do a live run for the video if you want to see how it looks in action. So again, stage 4 is the only one that has bosses. And if this was Memory of Chaos, your goal would probably be to focus said bosses, because they can be really annoying, right? But in this mode, your goal is to not really focus the bosses. You want to focus the other enemies, the ones that keep appearing in waves. And that is because you actually can't even kill the boss until it's the absolute last unit in the wave. So don't even bother damaging it. Don't waste your skills on him. Just kill the weaker enemies. And this also applies to the other waves that don't include a boss. Just kill the weaker enemies, then you can focus the boss if you need to. But from my experience, the shattering damage ends up being enough to passively kill it while you focus on the weaker enemies. So here we're going to use a bunch of techniques before we head into battle here. I can use either March 7th or Clara for the weakness break here, but it doesn't really matter. So there you go. Gonna turn off auto. All right, so for My team, we're gonna give Clara the shield. Again, this is so that she can be focused. We're gonna break that dude's shield so that Herta can do her follow-up attack. Again, we don't need to focus the big guy in the middle. Nice. Just keep breaking them shields. She's gonna follow up her own attacks. And you see, he's basically just passively just again killed here without any effort. There you go. We need to pop Clara's ults. Oh yeah, I did forget to mention that time limit for each stage is 4 waves. You have 4 waves to kill as many enemies as you can, and the goal is to get 60,000 points for 3 stars. That is how you're gonna get all the rewards for Perfection. So we've used 1 cycle so far. Let's go ahead and keep attacking. So there are little events like this where, in this case, a trotter showed up and it gives a lot of points for killing it. And you can see the Shatter's doing work, right? The enemies are coming in, they already have Shatter. When Clara kills them, they're exploding. Go ahead and use Herta's ult first. There you go, we're already on the last, this is the last wave. And we are chilling. Like, we've already gotten 20,000 points, and we still have this is the last bit of the second cycle. We still have a lot of time to get some points here. Let's go ahead and reapply the shield to Clara. Again, just break those shields. Not enough for a follow-up attack, that's okay. And yeah, your goal for each half should be around like 30,000 if you can. Or very close to it for each wave. Let's give everyone some buffs. Nice. Let the Shatter do the rest. Now every single one of these enemies been walking in, I don't think, okay, there's one with a Shatter. It's a little unlucky, it does happen, you know, it's the whole 80% thing. Let's go ahead and just keep using our skills. This is also a really good run, by the way. This is fine. We are absolutely chilling. Want to get rid of those shields. Oh yeah, another thing you don't have to worry about is if a character goes down, unlike, you know, Memory of Chaos, that would be a loss of a star. But here, it's okay if March 7th ends up dying here. Well, you know, we don't want her to die, but if she does, because she gets focused by the enemy's AoE stuff and attacks like that, it's okay. There we go. Nice, nice. I'm not even doing anything. This game might as well be an auto. Do that for some AoE damage. So right now we've already gotten our target goal, which is to get at least 30,000, or we're very close to it. We should definitely be able to get it before time runs out here. It's okay. You know, it's the end of the round here, so let's go ahead and just. I was gonna see if I could try to get the ultimate last second, but that's all right. There you go. We got 31,000. Any extra points is gonna be fine. So we got 31k on the first half. So again, we just want to focus the other enemies. We go ahead and give that energy to Kafka so she can ult. There we go. And it's also nice that you get those enemies that explode when they die. It's even more damage, right? So not complaining there. So Seele, we're just gonna go ahead and use her skill to break this shield right here. Alright. And then we can actually go for the middle so we can hit all three. Oh, we got taunted, so we have to end up attacking the big guy here. That's okay. We can... Oh yeah, we have to still attack him with the ult because of the taunt. There you go. Free attack. We can go for this one. I do wish I had better artifacts on my Asta, but you know, it is what it is. It's fine. We're chilling. We're at 41k. Go ahead and focus the Trotter. Use the ult. Poof. Almost got him. Can probably finish him off with a normal attack here, I think. Yep, there you go. She should get another turn. Can kill that guy. Reapply buffs. Yeah, you can see we've just been focusing the other enemies and the Trotter's been basically you know, getting passively damaged. Let's go ahead and give everyone a speed boost. I don't even know if that was really that helpful, but alright, go ahead and attack here. And attack here. Yeah, we really want this Trot. Wait, let's go ahead and use it on this guy just because he's a little bit... Trotter's really low. There you go. It's fine. So now we're on the last wave with 51k points. We're absolutely chilling. This is fine. Let's go ahead and give that buff to Kafka once again and give her more energy. There you go. Good start. Go ahead and finish off that guy. And attack the middle so we hit all three. We can give a little bit of a buff to Seele this time, just because Benediction is still on Kafka. $54k, we're absolutely fine. Go ahead and break that. Here, maybe we can go ahead and try to finish this dude off. Let's see, not enough. That's okay. What we can do is rebuff Kafka. Uh-oh. Ooh, jeez. Let's get a little dicey out here, but okay. We're chilling. Took my my Tinya. Give that back. And finish that off. Finish this off. Use our ult. Let's hit the exploding robot. I don't know if this is enough to refill the burst immediately. No, it's close though. Unfortunate. Nice. I think we're okay on buffs. So let's just go ahead and attack. Nice. And use our burst. Sorry, our ultimate. There we go. We should be able to... I'm just gonna use Seele's skill just to make sure we kill it. I just want to make sure it dies. There you go. Do that. So we've already reached our target goal, and Kafka went down, which is unfortunate, but I mean, that's it. We're good. Let's see if we can get some last second turns with Asta's ultimate. No, it's not enough. It's okay. I lost my Tingyun. Still getting points. There you go. That is a well-rounded pure fiction stage 4 run there. Our second half struggled a little bit more than our first half because, you know, Ruan Mei is just an amazing support. And Herta's constant follow-up attacks and Clara's counters are just so good. So there's Pure Fiction. I believe this mode, I would say I had an easier time clearing Pure Fiction over the new MOC stages 11 and 12 from my personal experience. I really like this mode a lot because it changes the way you go about it. So for example, I have Jing Liu, but I didn't use her in this mode, or at least not for stage 4, because Herta is simply the better option. Jing Liu does a ton of damage, but the same AoE as Herta. That ton of damage is wasted because you're not fighting really strong enemies in this mode. So you don't really need hard hitters like Jing Liu, like Dan IL, or anything like that. You just need AoE. It doesn't have to be the strongest AoE, it just needs to be enough. And Herta is more than enough, especially when you pair her with buffers like Ruan Mei, of course, and she has some extra help from the shatter damage and Clara, as well as being a extra DPS on the team. It works really well. If you do have Himeko, again, Himeko plus Ruan Mei, I'm straight up telling you, you can just auto the last stage. With both of them. Just auto. Leave it on auto and you'll have an easy time if you do have both of those characters. That's going to be it for the Pure Fiction tips and tricks video. Hopefully this is helpful to somebody out there. If it was, don't forget to leave a like and or subscribe to the channel. I will be making more videos like this in the future. If you have any other additional questions or you need help with team setups or just you know, the Pure Fiction mode in general, also feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to try to help you out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.